All right, guys, the job market is a mess right now. The economy is a mess as well. And there are tons of different industries, tons of different careers that are being disrupted, and there's mass layoffs. And yeah, it's just a massive mess. So what you can do is learn high income skills. And in this video, I'm gonna be going over those. Now, most of the skills I'm gonna talk about in this video are evergreen skills that would have been good 1,000 years ago and will be good 1,000 years in the future. A few of the skills I'm gonna talk about are kind of like technological related skills that are good right now, but they may not be good, even 20 years from now. They might be outdated, but right now they're super valuable. So if you appreciate me making this type of video, let me know by gently tapping that like button, and let's jump into it right now. All right, the first skill is value giving. And this is honestly the skill possibly of all skills, because it's really at the heart of the economy. I mean, even if it wasn't a capitalist society where we exchange money, value giving was the heart of every economy that's ever existed. And specifically in this video, I want you to focus on a particular type of value, which is giving value and expecting nothing in return, okay? And this is basically a cheat code because a lot of people give value these days, but you can kind of tell that they're just standing there with puppy dog eyes like, okay, are you gonna do something for me now? And you basically have that feeling that this person's doing you a favor, but they're immediately going to expect you to do something for them. And it really ruins the whole thing. But when somebody does something really nice for you and they don't even ask for anything and they're just like, yeah, absolutely, it was my pleasure to help you, you have a completely different feeling about that person. And what this ends up doing is it gives you a lot of goodwill. And the thing about goodwill is that it compounds fast, much faster than money. So when you do something really nice for someone and you don't expect anything in return, it gives you a ton of goodwill with them. And let me give you a perfect example of this. I was actually able to become president of my pharmacy school class, and it wasn't because I was super charismatic or a great leader. In fact, I was one of the youngest people in the class. It was because I gave value and I expected nothing in return. What I did was create Quizlets, flashcards, and test guides for people in the class that were struggling to pass the tests. And the tests were very difficult, and I created these for free. And I didn't expect anything in return. I just gave it to them for free. And that compounded a ton of goodwill from a bunch of the different people in the class. And when the elections came up a few months later, I literally wasn't even thinking about running for president. And a bunch of people told me to run. So I was like, okay, I guess I'll run. And then I ran and I won easily. It was a landslide, even though there were other people that were much more popular than me and much more charismatic that also ran. And by the way, this is the exact same thing that I do on this channel. I provide a massive amount of free value on this channel and I expect nothing in return. I do not sell any information on this channel. The only thing that I do sell is implementation, right? If it's actually going to take other people's time and effort, then of course you have to charge for that. And that's one of the main reasons why I've had so much success on this channel. So just as an example, I teach people how to grow and make money on YouTube. And I've been doing this for a while. I have hundreds of successful students and I have unlimited amounts of testimonials. For instance, Nicole started off with 85 subscribers. She was about to quit on YouTube and we helped her get all the way to making over $80,000 a month. Sean was stuck at 10 to 30K per month on YouTube and we helped him get all the way up over $500,000 a month. All right, quick break. This Tuesday at 9 p.m. Eastern time, I'm doing a one-time only workshop where I talk about how to get money quickly with AI. And you can check it out down in the description and the pinned comment below. I'm gonna be showing you this new opportunity. It's completely free and it's amazing whether you basically want to use it to get a better job, use it to network, use it to make some passive income, start a side hustle, make a full-time income, or even start a full-on business. It works incredibly well with all of those and it's completely free. And at this workshop, I'm gonna be giving away my profitable niche predictor GPT. This is a GPT-powered piece of software that I've been working on for quite some time now. Been trained on thousands of hours, my teaching, coaching, consulting sessions, etc. And so you don't have to spend months or years trying to figure out how to find a profitable niche. You can find it in a matter of minutes or even seconds in some case, because it can literally tell you right away if a specific niche that you're thinking about will be profitable or not. And I'm gonna be giving this away one time only at the workshop. So make sure you show up, click the link in the description of the pinned comment below. And when you're done registering, make sure to click on add this to your calendar so it'll show up in your Google, Apple, or Outlook calendar. So you can make sure that you won't miss the chance to grab the profitable niche predictor GPT. And you'll also be able to ask me questions live. So I look forward to meeting you. See you Tuesday, 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Click the link in the description in the pinned comment below. And now back to your regularly scheduled programming. So yeah, value giving has been valuable no matter what time period you're in. Back when we were all living in villages and like trading shells, giving value to other people in the village was something that would help you be invaluable. So this is really the skill of all skills. And that brings me to number 2, which is arguably the second most important skill, or some people might even say it's the first, which is learning, right? You need to have the ability to rapidly learn things. So in order to rapidly learn things, you need to learn how to learn, which is a meta skill. And there's really a few things you can do to learn things and just pick them up much faster than most people. The first one is to just simply find a mentor, right? Find somebody who's already good at the skill and then learn with them. Additionally, one thing that really helps is the social element. So if you can learn a skill alongside a bunch of other people, it makes it much easier to do it. Think about anything you've gotten really good at in your life. You probably did it with a bunch of other people that were doing the same thing. Whether it was playing basketball or track and field or playing piano, you're probably doing it in a class full of other people, and you very likely had a mentor as well. And there's just a magical thing about getting around a bunch of other people that are trying to do the same thing that you're trying to do. And it just makes the learning process significantly easier. Now, the third thing is whenever you're learning something, be action oriented. And I'm talking about 80% action oriented. So most people are the opposite. When they're learning something, it's 80% consuming and 20% taking action. What you want to do is the other way, 80% taking action and 20% consuming. So when you learn something that's interesting, when you're learning a new skill, try to apply it as fast as possible. And the physical act of applying that thing will make it stick in your head. Another thing you can do is making sure that you're consuming information from the right people. There is unlimited information out there. I mean, even back when we just had Google, there was pretty much unlimited information. Google, YouTube, you can learn just about everything for free. But are you learning the best information for free? Or are you learning cookie cutter regurgitated information? So being able to tell what information is good and then only consuming that information is a super valuable skill. And really, this comes down to discernment. So discernment is a big part of learning really fast. So in the e-learning world, there's people that basically say something just because it sounds really good and it works from a marketing perspective, but it's not what actually works. And one thing I pride myself on doing is being brutally honest and telling people what actually works, even if it doesn't help me from a marketing perspective. A lot of the marketers I've worked with, for instance, have been like, hey, can you just, tell people what they want to hear? And most of the time I'm like, no, I'm not going to tell people what they want to hear. I'm going to tell them the truth. But because of that, certain people love to follow me, and those are the types of people that are my people, basically. And then another pro tip for learning things incredibly fast is when you're learning general information, utilize AI. I mean, AI is incredibly powerful. First of all, you can utilize AI just to read the information, but you can also just talk to AI. So you can talk to it, and then it can, read you out some information. You read it really quickly, and then you talk to it again. And then if you want to remember things, you can actually just have it quiz you. You can literally just have the AI just like, hey, quiz me about this. I think I understand. Can you quiz me and see if my answers are right? And it can literally do it right on the spot. Or you can have it come up with suggestions for projects that you can make on the spot so that you can lock that information in. So yeah, the skill of learning how to learn, super valuable. Being able to pick things up really quickly, just incredibly valuable skill. I could go on and on about this one. I could probably make an entire video about it, but I'm gonna stop here because I feel like I've made my point. Skill number 3 is leadership and hiring. So I'm actually putting these two together because they're very closely related. And by the way, this isn't just for starting a business. Even if you want to be an employee, but be a very good, high paid employee, get good at these skills. Now, here's the thing. Any business out there can only go so far by yourself. You can only go so far if you have a small team. And you basically don't need very good leadership skills if you just have a tiny team. But the moment you have a larger team, you need leadership and management skills. And if you want a sustainable team that keeps growing and making you more money, you need hiring skills. And the only way to get good at this is to just do it. There is no other way. With that being said, there's a really good book on hiring called Who? And that's a great starting point. But just reading the book isn't enough. You have to actually do it. And when it comes to hiring, it really depends on the position. For some positions, you absolutely have to hire Americans or people from Western, English-speaking countries. For some positions, you could easily hire someone from the Philippines, like a virtual assistant. Some of my friends like hiring from Eastern Europe or South and Central America. But with that being said, generally speaking, especially for very high-level positions, you're probably gonna find the best employees in the world in Western, first world English-speaking countries. Now, for leadership and and management, I recommend reading Wooden on Leadership at a basic level, and also biographies and autobiographies. And once you're getting a bigger team, I really recommend the book Traction. Now, this is if you started your own business and you have a small business. Traction is an amazing book for leadership and management. If you're working in a big Fortune 500 company, they use things like Lean Six Sigma. But if you have a small team or you're in a small business, Traction is incredible. But honestly, if you can just master one of these skills, leadership, management, or hiring, you're never going to have to worry about money ever again. Someone is going to hire you because leaders and managers are always getting paid more. Why? Because they have the ability to lead and manage other people. They have the ability to take a group of people and make sure that a job that needs to get done gets done on time and under budget. And that's a super rare skill. Now, the only way to get good at leadership is to do leadership. And there's a lot of interpersonal, emotional, honestly, not that logical things that you're just going to have to learn by doing it. And it's all about the skill of dealing with other people. And people are not logical, right? People are very irrational. And you have to understand that side of things. And if you can understand that side of things, you're never going to have to worry about having a job again.
What's happening, guys? In the editing process of this video, and I have an opportunity for a select group of people. So these are people who are serious about growing their personal brand on YouTube. So basically, we figured out recently how to grow a personal brand and combine all the upsides of a personal brand with the upsides of automation, right? Using AI, using things like this to basically grow your personal brand 10 times faster, which in the past used to take decades to do. And now you can do it significantly faster. And you can do this to get a better job. You know, we work with beginners that just want to get a better job with their personal brand. You can do this to make money as a side hustle. We work with a lot of people like that. We can do this to make more money if you already have a side hustle or a small business. Or if you're already crushing it on YouTube, we can help you crush it 10 times more. We've worked with people like that as well. I mean, I literally can show clients at each level. People that we've gotten from 0 to over 10K, 0 to like over 30K, from like 1K per month all the way up to 185K per month, from around 30K per month all the way up to over 500K per month. So literally at every single level, and it works for everyone in every situation. With that being said, we are only working with 3 to 5 people, and they have to be people who are very serious, right? People who are dedicated to making this work. So if you think you're that type of person, go ahead and apply down in the description and the pinned comment below, and you could be part of our group of 3 to 5 that we help. So see you there. Have a good one.
Next skill is marketing. Now, marketing is incredibly important because when you do content creation, you're getting traffic. But marketing is the process of turning that traffic into leads and sales. So if it's for a lower ticket product, marketing turns traffic into leads and sales directly. If it's a higher ticket product, marketing turns traffic into leads and sales calls. And then sales takes over from there. Now, here's how I want you to think about marketing as a beginner. It's not about being pushy. It's about being findable by people who need your help. And the best solution in the world is useless if nobody knows about it, right? The best product, the best solution, totally useless if nobody knows about it. So the simple breakdown is this: get attention, build trust, then make offers. That's it. You get attention through content. You build trust by giving value and solving other people's problems. And then you make offers with solutions to their problems. Now, the most valuable marketing skills are content creation, which we'll talk about later, paid ads, copywriting, SEO, and email marketing. Now, of course, there's some overlap. If you're doing email marketing, you're probably also doing copywriting pretty well too. And another important one is lead generation. That's getting people onto your email list, for instance. And all of these fall under the umbrella of marketing. And if you can master literally any of these skills, you're not going to have to worry about working anymore. You will always be somebody who never has to worry about having a job. Now, the next skill is sales. Now, obviously, marketing and lead generation get you to the point where if you're doing a high ticket product, you're doing sales calls. But if you're doing a low ticket product, the copywriting kind of replaces the salesperson. But if you're doing high ticket, you're going to have to do sales, and you're going to have to get on the phone with clients. And this is incredibly important, not only from a business owner's perspective. As a business owner, you should probably do sales at least once just to get decent at it, but also from an employee's perspective. And this is where the rubber meets the road. You can send as many leads as you want to someone, but if they're terrible at sales, they're just not going to close them. And sales is the #1 career and the #1 skill that millionaires and billionaires all had in their past. And it's unbelievably important, and it helps you not only in business, but in life in general, because you have to understand the other person's point of view and figure out how you can make both of your goals work together, right? You guys want to work synergistically. And here's how I want you to think about sales as a beginner. It's not about convincing people. It's about understanding what people really want and showing them how to get it. You have a goal, the other person has a goal. How can you make those two goals work together so that you can have synergy? But you have to do it in real time. You have to be fast on your feet, and that's tough. Not everyone can do that, but it's a lot of fun. And I highly recommend everyone does it at least once in their lifetime, right? One sales job in your lifetime. Even if you end up not doing it in the future, you are not going to regret it. Now, high ticket is still the best way to make money by far. This is where you're selling objects that are at least $2,000 to $3,000, and it can go all the way up to millions of dollars, obviously, like if you're selling a house, for instance. And it's much better than the group models that everyone's talking about these days. And you can use group models to upsell more people into high ticket programs, but on its own, high ticket is much better. With that being said, I did sell low ticket myself. For instance, I would sell eyeglass cleaner, and that's a good place to start. Now, I mentioned before the skill of content creation. Now, this is technically, you could maybe say it's marketing, but I would actually say it's one step before marketing, and that is generating traffic. Nothing happens if you don't have traffic, right? Your marketing could be incredible. You could have the best email marketing in the world, the best copywriting in the world, but if no one is reading it, it doesn't matter. It's not going to move people. It's not going to make them understand that you have a solution to their problem. And so you need traffic first and foremost. And traffic is the first thing. It's the singularity that everything else emerges from. So you have to get traffic. And the best way to get traffic is content creation. And I'm putting this last because this is honestly one of the best ways that you can give value, and it combines all of the previous skills into one powerful platform. So the thing about content creation, traffic is the first thing, right? You need traffic for anything else to work. But the second thing is, remember when I talked about giving value before? Well, content creation is a way for you to give value at massive scale. And when you give value and expect nothing in return, you get a lot of goodwill. And goodwill compounds way faster than money. And then later on, of course, you can start monetizing. But as a beginner, here's what you need to understand. You don't need to be an expert. You just need to be one step ahead of someone else, right? Let's just say you're a 3 out of 10 at some type of skill. You can teach a 1 out of 10 how to become a 3 out of 10. Let's say you're a 7 out of 10 at some type of skill. You can teach a 5 out of 10 how to get to 7 out of 10. Because a lot of people want to consume educational content, but for me, for instance, I don't know if I could learn that much from LeBron James in basketball. Let's just say I'm like a 5 out of 10 in basketball. Probably makes a lot more sense for me to work with someone who's a 7 out of 10, not someone who's a 10 out of 10 like LeBron James. Because people want to consume educational content. And when you create content, you want to build a personal brand where it's actually you, because people need to know, like, and trust you. I started off with faceless content. A lot of my clients start off with faceless content. For instance, Wiz of Ecom, his older videos were faceless. He had like an animated avatar and he used his voice. And then eventually he did a face reveal. But generally speaking, at some point down the line, you probably do want to reveal your face because, again, trust is extremely important when it comes to marketing. And you want people to actually get to know you. So here's a simple framework. Take problems that you had in your past that you were able to overcome and talk about those problems and how you overcame them. Talk about the problems you solved, how you solved it. And that is content gold. And make sure you tell your story, like tell how you felt at the time. Express the emotions that you felt at the time and the uncertainty that you felt at the time. Because they're going to relate to that and they're going to feel so motivated by the fact that you were able to overcome the same problem that they're having right now. And it's going to help them to overcome the problem as well. And that gives a massive amount of value and it solves their problems. So what content creation really does is it scales everything else, right? You can scale value giving, you can scale sales, you can scale marketing. And it's really the ultimate skill that brings everything else together. Plus, you get to learn a lot while you're creating content, which is pretty epic. And when you build an audience through content creation, you're essentially building a list of people who already know, like, and trust you. So when you eventually do make an offer, they're much more likely to buy because you've already built that goodwill. So when it comes to content creation, like I said before, guys, I'm doing a free workshop. It's going to be Tuesday, 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Do not miss out on it. In this workshop, I'm going to be going over the most important stuff that you absolutely need to know to be successful on YouTube when it comes to growing a YouTube channel and monetizing it as well. This is going to be useful for you whether you want to start a personal brand, a faceless channel, a brand on YouTube, like any type of YouTube channel or really any type of content creation in general. Check it out in the description in the pinned comment below. And it'll be awesome to actually meet you because you'll get to talk directly with me. And additionally, check out this video of me interviewing Sean, who we helped go from 30K per month all the way to over 500K per month by clicking right here.